Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Beth, and this is Beth's Bookish Reviews. And I finally have a book video for you. Today I am here to present to you my June wrap-up. I have finished eight books. I kept counting and I knew how many I was supposed to have finished. Okay, so we'll start with my TBR spin book that I am still reading from, we spun it in at the end of May or the beginning of June, and it's The Count of Monte Cristo. I have only made it to page 116. I got a little wrapped up in all the book club books and the buddy reads, and added some books to my book club books that I tied in with those. And yeah, okay, so the first book I finished was Booth by Karen Joy Fowler. This was a reread, but it was one of the book club books that Books Love Jenna had us reading, and it was really good. I still give it the same rating. I think the first time I gave it 4 stars, but I bumped it up to 5 stars because it just shows such a great picture of what the family of John Wilkes Booth went through. And I mean, you don't have to like John Wilkes Booth or agree with what he did or his beliefs or anything like that to appreciate his family and what they accomplished. You don't even have to like them. The history behind it, you can appreciate Karen Joy Fowler's writing, the research she put in, and the story that she wrote. It's just a wonderful, wonderful book. It is just a wonderful read. She has incredible writing, and I just enjoyed it immensely. And John Wilkes Booth is just a portion, just a small portion of the story. So yes, 5 stars. He is not the center of the book. So yes. Alright, next I wanted to listen to something quick and easy and fun, and I am going to start going through Agatha Christie's books, the Poirot books, in order. So I went to the first one and I listened to The Mysterious Affair of Styles. Oh, Poirot is just, I just love him. But I'll tell you somebody else I love just as much, and that's Captain Hastings. I love Captain Hastings. He is just, I just love him. But this is about their first case together, and Captain Hastings is at a friend's, and that friend's mother has remarried to somebody much, much younger than her, and her stepsons are questioning this, and the friend, the oldest stepson is actually the friend to Captain Hastings. It is really good. There, of course, is a murder, and Poirot is called in, and unbeknownst to Hastings, he and Poirot run into each other in the little village, and then that's when Poirot is called in after the death, and of course he solves it. And it is just so good. I love Agatha Christie and her writing. This woman can get you out of a book slump. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. This was a reread as well. Alright. Next was my buddy read with my friend Chris. This was a 5-star. Oh my goodness. it would have been a 10-star if the book's rated that highly. Oh man, this Christie by Catherine Marshall, this book, oh my goodness. Oh, I don't know why it took me so long to read this. This is about a young girl who was 18, and she went to Appalachia, in the Appalachian Mountains, to work as a teacher in the Appalachian schools. Oh my goodness. This was just amazing. I have another one of Catherine Marshall's books on my 50 before 50, and I can't wait to read it. I loved the writing. I loved the plot. I loved the characters. It was just so beautiful. I loved this book. I loved every bit of this book. Just a wonderful book. I loved it. I just loved it so much. Wonderful book. If you have not read this, and I also counted Booth for Big Book Summer, and I'm counting Christie for Big Book Summer. If I finish the Count of Monte Cristo before September. All right. The next book I finished is the second one that Books Love Jenna put on our June book club, and it is Judi Dench's Shakespeare, the man who pays the rent. And this is just about her time acting in the Shakespeare plays, and it is told in her voice, and it's kind of like interview based. Well, it's not kind of like, it is interview based, and I can talk about this because we've already had the Zoom call. Jenna has not put out hers, so I won't say very much, but it was very well written. I enjoyed it. I'm kind of ashamed to admit this, but I didn't really know much about Judi Dench. I had actually read more Shakespeare than I knew more about Judi Dench. And, I had heard about her, but not that much. I was very familiar with Shakespeare in high school. I had an English teacher who told us lots of stuff about Shakespeare, and we had her twice. We had her in 10th grade AP class, and then as seniors, we had her again. And she was very knowledgeable, and she also told us a lot about King Henry, and his wives, his many, many wives. I still can remember that. She was quite something else, and I love that woman. So yes, this was a good book, and I enjoyed it. I'm getting to where I quite like memoirs and such. So that's what I would say this was a memoir of this particular time in her life. Wasn't about the majority of her life, but just that portion of her life. All right. I also paired Booth and Judi Dench's The Shakespeare, the Man Who Pays the Rent, with The Demon of Unrest by Erik Larson. This is about the election of Abraham Lincoln and the first shots that were fired on Fort Sumter. And this is such a good read. Erik Larson is such a wonderful writer, and he makes a nonfiction book read like a fiction book. He's very well researched, and it was very, very, very good. I enjoyed my time with this, and I was so involved in this book that the other book I was reading about the end of the Civil War kind of got lost in the wayside. I didn't get it finished, but I'm still reading it. I picked it back up. Now, this one just there's so much information in this book, and I'm just in awe of everything, and I'm interested in going back through this and taking notes and being more thorough in my reading. I tabbed for a while, and then I stopped because I was just listening and reading along with it, and it's so good. And yeah, and it does say a saga of hubris, heartbreak, and heroism at the dawn of the Civil War, and that's true. There was a lot of heartbreak, but there was a lot of heroism, and some we'll never know of. All right, the next I'll have to put up here. I listened to A Morbid Taste for Bones by Ellis Peters, and this was about Father Cadfael, I think is how you say his name, and he's a priest. I believe he's a priest. I think he's a priest. Pretty sure. Anyway, he goes to investigate this, well, he goes with this team of priests to bring back the remains of a saint, but then there is a death. So then he, investigates. It's just a cozy mystery. You say cozy mystery, and then there's always a death. So how cozy is that if there's a death? But anyway, then I jumped off in it. I read The Unselected Journals of Emma M. Lyon, Volume 1 by Beth Brower. I made it about halfway through when I stopped. I put it down. And so when we had our Zoom call, first my friend Chris told me, just try it. Just finish it. Just if you don't like it, you don't have to read the second one. And then Jenna from Books Love Jenna said, you're almost there. She said, sometimes, she said, she was telling me about it, and so they both, between the two of them, between my friend Chris and between her and Jenna, they convinced me. So, I was half done. So I finished listening to it at the end of that day. And so, yeah, I'm sold. So I'm trying to check out the second volume. And, yeah. Anyway, I'll be continuing. Emma M. Lyon is about a 17-year-old. I believe she's 17. Maybe she's older than that. Anyway, she is about to come into her inheritance, and she goes back to the house that she lived in with her parents, and she discovers that things are not what they should be. So then we had our TBR spin. That is put on by Freshly Read Books. And that's for July, but we had it on the 28th of June. And you had to, our prompt for July was the title with the longest, a book with the longest title by letters. So I was a book short, so I had to grab another book. I didn't have enough books for the rest of the year. And it happened to be The Bookshop of 99 Doors that I grabbed, and so that was my longest title. And I finished it Monday. And so that was my last book. And this is about, I'm just going to read the back because it's, yeah. In 1888, Minnie Tipton finds herself beset by the dark superstitions that envelop the Pennsylvania mansion her father bought. Convinced the vengeful spirit of a Civil War captain haunts the house, and worried by her father's rapidly worsening illness, Minnie delves into the home's fraught past in an effort to bring him peace. Okay, I'm going to stop there. Now, in present day, Tris Bellamy eagerly steps into the role of a bookshop manager in the mansion turned museum boasting 99 doors. Okay, so she's gone to work in this museum, and supposedly the house has 100, that's 100 doors. That's the rumor. And her brother and her best friend, is also her brother's best friend, have this show called, I don't know if it's just a self-proclaimed paranormal investigation show. And they come to investigate the, my husband's running his air compressor out there. That's why the lights are flickering. They come to investigate the house. So, and she kind of separated herself from that. So anyway, that's that. So I finished that one. And those were all the books I finished. Now, as I told you before, for the Count of Monte Cristo, I'm on page 116. The Midnight on the Potomac, I'm only on page 52. And the Buddy Read with My Sister, 11/22/63, by Stephen King, I'm only on page 80. She's ahead of me. And she said the last time I asked, she was on page 100. She's probably way ahead of me. She's probably on page 300 by now. She always says, you're going to be ahead of me. You're going to finish before me. No, I'm not. So, not this time. Anyway, that is my June wrap up. And if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you want to see more from me, click that subscribe button down below. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.